Hi, I'm going to quickly show you how to use the free sample of my personal bingo generator. So in the folder that you downloaded, you would have got the generator for the bingo boards, for the 3x3 bingo boards, and also the generator for the printable calling cards. So I'm going to start off by opening up the generator for the bingo boards, and then we need to enable the macros. Otherwise the generator won't work. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, you can see over here that with a full version you would be able to put in a number up to 100. This is the number of items that you want to be able to use on your bingo boards. And then here, you would be able to put in any number saying how many bingo boards you wish to create. Okay, in this case for the free sample you don't have the option of putting in your own numbers over there. It's defaulted to 9 and 1. Okay, then you also have the option of creating a bingo board that has text, pictures, or caption pictures, or a combination of those. Okay, so the example I'm going to show you now is going to be using the caption pictures. Okay, so I'm going to start, in order to click on that button, I have to start the slideshow. Just make that bigger. There we go, so now I can get to this button. Okay, so to start the slideshow, I can either press F5 or Shift and F5 to start from the slide, or I can just click on this button over here. This is the easiest, so I'm just going to click there, and then I'm going to click on Caption Pictures. And now it brings me to this page over here where it asks me to put in my pictures. So it says that I've chosen to create a game that uses 9 caption pictures, and I need to go and put those pictures in. So it's just telling me to put in my pictures into a folder, and then go to the Insert tab and go to Pictures and choose to insert from this device, and then insert my pictures. And then I'm going to go and start the slideshow and click on the Arrange Pictures button. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go and put in pictures from this device, and here my pictures are. I'm just going to be putting in 9 of them because that's what I said I'm going to be, that's for the free sample I can only put in 9. So I'm going to put in those 9 pictures, and then I'm going to click on Arrange over there. So I start the slideshow and click on Arrange Pictures, and then you can see it puts the pictures all nicely over here for you with space for putting in the captions next to them. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and put in my text, so 1, half, and so on. So I'm just going to fill those in quickly. Okay, so I have filled in all of the text for my captions. Once I'm happy with my captions and my pictures, I'm going to go to the next slide where it says generate the samples. So I'm going to click on this button over here again so that I can click on that button, or I can just start the slideshow from the slide by pressing Shift and F5. But I'm going to click on this one over here and then click on generate samples, and now you can see it has created these sample squares. This is basically what the squares will look like when they end up being put into my bingo board. Okay, so you can see over here in my sample squares I've got my captions at the bottom and I've got my pictures above them. I can go and change or format the font over here if I want to. So if I select all of it, I can just format the font. I can change the actual font. So let me change that. And I can change the size of the font. I can change the color of the font if I want to. I can do any formatting that I want to the font over here. I can also, if I want to, go Format Object, and then I can go to Text Options and click on this text box over here, and then I can also change the margin if I want to. If I want it to be slightly higher or slightly lower depending on the pictures that I'm using. So in this case I want to maybe have a little bit lower, so I maybe put 0.1, and then it shifts it down a bit. So you can also play with the alignment as well if you want to, and the margins and so on, depending on how you want your bingo boards to look. So once you're happy with your squares, you can then go to the next slide. Now on the next slide you can go and choose a template from the ones that I have provided. So to do that, I've given you instructions over here. Choose the template that you wish to use for your bingo boards. Click on the layout option in the home tab. So that's the home tab over here and the layout option. I click on there. Now these ones over here are going to disappear after you have generated the bingo board because they are specific for the generator. They are not meant to be used as templates. The templates are these ones after those. So you'll see over here we've got my templates, and those templates I can choose between. In the full version of this generator you have a lot more templates to choose from, but in the free sample you have these 3. So I'm going to choose this blue one over here. Okay, so once I've chosen the template that I want, you can see that it changes, and then I'm going to go over here to generate your bingo boards. And now let's just quickly have a look at the information it has over here. So before I go and click on that button, while it is busy generating, the file will be saved with everything that you've done to it. So that's everything you added on the slide, all the pictures you added, all the text that you added, any formatting changes that you made over here, the template that you chose over there, all of that will be saved as it is at the moment. Okay, then slides will be added. Now this does not actually apply in this free version because you're only creating one bingo board, but in the full version you create as many bingo boards as you want to, and so slides get added for those bingo boards. And then all the slides that are not part of the actual game will be deleted, so any slides that are not actually bingo boards will be deleted. Okay, then once the bingo board has finished generating, you are going to need to save it. So like I said, it was saved before any of that happened, so that you can still come back and make changes if you want to, which I'm still going to talk to you about. But you obviously will want to save the bingo boards in their finished state as well. So to save it, you're going to go and save it as a PowerPoint presentation and just change the name, obviously. So you're going to go Control-Shift-S to open the Save As window, or just go File, Save As, and then you're going to open the Save As window, save it as a PowerPoint presentation. You don't need the macros anymore once you have finished generating your bingo boards, so you don't need to keep it as a macro-enabled PowerPoint. You just need it as a regular PowerPoint presentation. And so when the window pops up asking if you want to save it as a macro-free presentation, you can click yes, because you don't need those macros anymore. Okay, please don't just, once it's finished generating, don't just click Control S and save it like normal, because if you do that, you will overwrite the work in progress file that was saved at the beginning of the generating. And then you won't be able to go back and make changes if you want to, or it'll be much more difficult to do it. Then once you have finished saving your game, if you do want to go back and make changes, if you want to make changes to just the design, so in other words change it to a different template, then what you can do is you can just go back to the file that you've just saved now, the regular PowerPoint presentation file, which has your bingo boards in it. And you can just go and you'll be able to choose a different layout. So you would select all the slides that you want and choose the layout, and then they will all change to that layout. If you are wanting to make changes to the actual contents of the bingo board, so if you want to make changes to any of the stuff that's in any of the squares, then you would need to come back to the original generator file and make changes there, and then generate your bingo boards again. So that's why it was saved, so that you would be able to do that, and then you save it again as a different file so that you can keep your bingo boards as their own separate file. Okay, so now we're going to go and generate the bingo board. So I'm going to press on this button over here to start the slideshow and click on generate bingo boards. And now in this case, obviously it's the free sample, so you only can create one bingo board. So you can see it has now deleted all of those other slides, like I said, and you just have your bingo boards. So obviously in the full version, you would now have a whole lot more bingo boards depending on how many you have chosen to create. So once you have created that, then you would go and save it. So Control-Shift-S to open the Save As window. So I'm just going to name it Sample Bingo Board and change it to a PowerPoint presentation and click Save. And then you can see it brings up this window, like I said, asking if I want to save it as a macro-free presentation. I'm going to click yes, because I don't need the macros anymore. Okay, so now I'm going to close this, and then I will go back into this folder. Now you can see there I still have my original generator file that I started with, and here I've got my sample bingo board. So this is the one that I just created. So I could go in here if I wanted to just change the design. Okay, and then I could just click on the slide that I want to change and go back to layout, and now you can see that I only have these three options over here because all the other things were deleted that were made for the generator. Okay, so I could change it to that if I wanted to, or I could change it to that, whatever I wanted to choose. Okay, so if I keep it as it was over there, then let's go and see. This is my original generator file again, so I'm going to go back in there, and now you can see I'm need to enable macros. Okay, now you can see that I still have all those things that I had added to my generator. Everything that I chose, all the text that I added, all the formatting that I applied, all of that has been saved. I would be able to come back and make changes to individual items if I wanted to. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like very quickly for the other options. So I showed you the caption pictures option over here. Now let me quickly show you what it looks like for the text in the pictures. Okay, so first of all, for the text, I'm going to start the slideshow. So let's go to text, and then you can see it takes me straight to the slide over here where it just has a table now for me to put in my text. Once I've put in my text, if I just put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as my text, then I go over here and I generate my samples. Then it just has obviously no pictures because I chose not to use pictures. And just like I could for the caption pictures, I can go and I can change the formatting of the text. I can change the font, I can change the size, I can change the color, I can change the alignment, I can change whatever I want to for the formatting of the text there as well. Okay, so now let me go and show you what it looks like for the pictures option, the plain pictures. So start the slideshow, click on pictures, and then just like I did for the caption pictures, it's now telling me to go and put in my pictures. So I'm going to go and do that quickly. So over here, I'm going to go and put in my 9 pictures, and then I'm going to click on arrange pictures, just like I did for the caption pictures. But you can see now it doesn't bring up any table because I don't need to put in text because I'm not using captions. And then when I generate my samples, it just looks like that, where the pictures are just placed into the middle of the squares. Okay, and then the last one is the combination. Now for the combination, you click on there, and now it's going to ask you, so you've got 9 items altogether. How many of those items do you want to be text? Now you can choose any number from 0 to 9. I could choose 0 if I don't want any text, plain text items. I could use 0. If I want to have, say, 4 plain text items, I can put a 4 in there. And now I click OK, and now it tells me, okay, so I've got 4 text items of my 9 altogether. How many of the remaining ones from 0 to 5 do I want to be pictures? So again, I could choose 0 if I don't want to have plain pictures, or I can choose any number up to 5. Okay, so I'm going to choose 5, and then that would mean that I would have 0 caption pictures left. Okay, so now I'm going to click on OK, and now you can see that it's put in a table with 4 spaces for me to put in my 4 text items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever those text items are. On the next slide, this is where I would put in my pictures. So I'm going to put in 5 pictures and then arrange them. And then on the next slide, you can see it tells me, okay, so I chose not to use any caption pictures, so I'm not going to do anything on this slide. And then I'm going to go to the next slide and I'm going to generate my samples. So I generate my samples, and now you can see that the first samples are from my text, my next ones are my pictures, and then if I had chosen to use caption pictures, they would be after the plain pictures. So now if I want to go and format any fonts, I would just select the ones that have the text that I want to format, and I would change that formatting if I want to. And then once I've done that, I would then go and choose my template and generate my bingo board. And now when I generate my bingo board, you'll see that it uses the things that you've got in those samples. So it could have plain text, or it could have pictures, or if I chose to use ones with caption pictures as well, it would use those as well. Okay, and that is how you create your bingo boards. Right, so now I'm going to show you, so I'm going to close that. Save it, and now I'm going to show you the printable calling cards. So let's click on here, open it up, okay, so I need to enable the macros, and now it's just like for the bingo boards, you again don't have the option for the free sample of putting in a number here, but for the full version, you would be able to put a number up to 100. You'd be able to create a maximum of 100 calling cards. Okay, so again, same thing as with the bingo boards. Everything, it pretty much works exactly the same. The only difference is for the bingo boards, you had to fill in a different number because you had to fill in how many bingo boards you wanted to create, but it obviously is different for the calling cards because they are each their own calling card. Okay, so I'm going to go and show you the caption pictures option again. So over here, click on there and caption pictures, and you can see it looks exactly the same as it did. So the whole process using for the calling cards is going to be the same for you as it was for the bingo boards. So I'm going to go and put in my pictures, so my 9 pictures that I'm using, and click on the Arrange Pictures button. And same thing as it was for my bingo boards, I'm now going to go and put in my text for my calling cards. So 1/2, and then I'll put in the... Okay, so I finished putting in my captions. So now I'm going to go to the next slide, and here I'm going to generate my samples, just like I did for the bingo board. So I click on the Generate Samples button, and now you can see that for the calling cards, the captions are placed on the left-hand side of the calling card, and the pictures are placed on the right-hand side because the calling card is in square. Okay, so that's what my calling cards will basically look like. Then, just like for the bingo boards, we can change our template out. So in the same way, we're going to go in the Home tab to the Layout button, and we're going to choose from the templates. So you've got these 3 options. And again, in the full version, you have more options than this, obviously. So I will choose blue to match the bingo boards that I created. And then everything, again, it looks exactly the same over here. It's telling you the same thing. Everything will be saved before the calling cards are generated, and so on. So I'm going to go and click on the Generate Calling Cards button, and then you can see that those have now all been inserted into my calling cards over there. Now, in the full version of this, you also get an individual calling cards option where each calling card is on its own individual slide. This one is obviously ideal for printing, but that one is ideal if you're wanting to save them as separate pictures or anything like that. Okay, so that is how you create your calling cards. And again, like I said, everything, so let me just undo that quickly. Everything works the same as it did for the bingo boards. So if I choose text, then it'll give me spaces to put in my text. If I choose over here pictures, it'll ask me to put in my pictures, and I'll put them in like that. And then when I generate or arrange my pictures, it looks like that. And then I will go over here and generate my samples, and then you can see that the pictures are put into the middle of the calling cards. For the text, obviously you can also format the text if you want to as well. So I could have done that when I had my caption pictures as well. I could have gone and formatted the text just like I can for the bingo boards. And then the combination works the same as it does. So if I put in this line, say I don't want to have any text, I'll put a 0 for the text. And if I want to have 4 pictures and 5 caption pictures, it then automatically calculates that I'm going to use 5 caption pictures. And so it shows me now, okay, I chose not to have any text items, so I go to the next slide to put in my pictures. So I'm going to have my 4 pictures that I was going to use and generate and arrange those, and you can see that those are put in over there. And then my caption pictures are over here, so I'll put in the 5 caption pictures and arrange those. And then I would put in my text for those 5, so that's 3/3, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Okay, so now go and click on Generate Samples. I'm going to start my slideshow and click on the button, and then you can see that it has now generated those samples, where the first 4 were using pictures because I didn't have any text items, plain text items. So I had my 4 plain pictures and then my 5 caption pictures. And so now, once I've done that, I can then go and choose my template if I want to, and then I will generate my calling cards. And that is what they look like. So that is how you use the calling card generator. Right, I hope that that has been helpful, and I hope that you will enjoy playing around with this and trying it out. And if you like using this free sample and you're happy with the way it works, I hope that you will go and check out the full version in my store. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.